Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcome you to my series and lectures on Indian art, culture and heritage. In the context, today's lecture is based on the temple architecture. There are different type of temple architecture, out of which Nagara is one of the important type because lot of temples are built on this. Now we are going to see today in which way it is different, and grossly we are going to see how it differs from the other type of architectures. Now most of the photographs in these are my own. Illustrations, some of are borrowed from the net. We acknowledge with thanks all of them, but we are seeing to that they are from public domain and are royalty free. With that brief, let's get going to the topic. Now, what is the science behind temple? The Sanskrit manuals narrating temple architecture were not rigid system. Rather, they were guideline based on the principle and science. Architect and artists were given room for innovatives and novelties. So they have given guidelines. They have given you have to stick to which principles, and if you stick to that principles, you can go ahead on that line. Now here we are seeing two type of architect. One thing is Nagara type, or other is Dravidian type. Distinctly what you can see is a difference between the Shikhara or Vimana. Now for Nagara it is Shikhara, and for Dravidian style it is Vimana. And now the Nagara style has got Amalakha and also Kalasha, which is not seen in Dravidian architectural side. In addition to the main Shikhara, there are certain small Shikharas over the Mandapas also, which are not seen in Dravidian. Now again, the Gopuram which is seen in a Dravidian style is not seen in Nagara style. So that is one of a important differentiation. The compound wall which are seen for the Dravidian are not seen for Nagara. Again, water sources are also there. We are going to revise these findings because they are important once we go ahead in the lecture. So let's get going to the main Nagara architecture. After seeing it, in which way it differs from Dravid. Now Nagara architecture from the 5th century AD onwards, a distinct form of temple construction known as the Nagara style of architecture emerged in North India. So it originated from North India. Even within the Nagara school, numerous sub-schools arose in the country western, middle and eastern region. So they were followed in different ways. Everybody made their own contributions, their own architectures and all aesthetic beauty addition in the present structure, because everybody want to be better than earlier. They want to be larger, gorgeous, then elegant and most important, long lasting. So that is how the principles of temple has helped them. The temples were primarily built in a Panchayatan style. Panchayatan style is a basic principle given as a guideline, with minor shrines arranged in a crucified ground plan with relation to the main shrine. So that is what I have told you just now, or at the beginning also, that there are no rigid rules. You have to follow. If you do not change basics, then remaining thing you are given liberty. The Nagara style of temple architecture that became popular in North India was also migrated. Their ideas also migrated, and when they joined with the Dravidian style in the era of Chalukyan, a new style, that is Vesara style, you can call hybrid or combination of Dravidian and Nagara style, also emerged. So though it was from the North India, it traveled with changes all over. In North India, it is common for an entire temple to be built on a stone platform with steps. earlier temples of the Dravidian style were not on the raised platform, that is Jagati. They were at ground level. But subsequent temple, if we see, they are on raised platform. So again, adaptation of the Nagara style towards Dravidian has taken place. So one thing is raised platform, which is a characteristic of Nagara, was also adopted in some of the Dravidian style. Another unique characteristic is that it does not usually have elaborated boundary wall. Compound is not there, Gopuram is not there. That is a speciality of Dravidian temple. Gopuram is called here as a gateway, is not a correct transformation. Gopuram is a Gopuram. The Garbhagriha is always located directly under the tallest tower. In both the styles, whether Nagara or Dravidian, right below the tower you should find a Garbhagriha. There are many subdivisions of Nagara type depending on the shapes of the Shikhara. Amalakha or Kalasha, which is installed on the Shikhara, is another characteristic features of this form of this temple. Now there are meeting halls are called mandapas. They can be sabha mandapas, somewhere it is called also as swarga mandapas, then it is mukha mandapas. They can be in the front, they can be open, they can be semi-open, they can be partially covered. So there are different type of mandapas, sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, and they are mainly as a meeting hall or people to wait till their rituals are completed. The images of river deities like Ganga, Yamuna were placed outside the Garbhagriha. So just outside the Garbhagriha gate on either side, Ganga stands for purity and Yamuna stands for wisdom. So these two were always there in all the Nagara type of temples. And if you go to the Dravidian style, they are different. They can be vehicles of the associate deities also. So these are the differences. The examples are Sun Temple at Konark, also known as Black Pagoda, then Gandaria Mahadev Temple, Lakshman Temple at Khajuraho, etc. These are the temples which meet these criteria. There are many subdivisions of the Nagara temple depending on the shape of the Shikhara. There are different names for the various parts of the temple in different parts of India. However, the most common name for simple Shikhara, which is square at the base and whose wall curve or slope towards a point on the top, is called as Latina or Rekha Prasada type of Shikhara. The second major type of architectural form is a Nagara order, is the Famsana, which tends to be broader and shorter than Lantina, which we had described just now. Their roofs are composed of several slabs that gently rise to a single point over the center of the building, unlike the Latina ones, which looks like sharply rising tall towers. So these are the difference between, or a distinguished mark of the Famsana are the Lantina are shorter, then they are broader, then there will be staves and they will point towards a single point at the top. The third main subtype of Nagara building is generally called as Vallabhi. Now these are rectangular building with a roof that rises into the vaulted chamber. We are talking of the Vallabhi type. There are few temples of it surviving today, but they distinguish themselves. They identify themselves as different. And Amalakha is a segment or notched stone disc, usually with a ridges on the rim. So it should look like a lotus if you see from the top. That site on the top of the Hindu temple, Shikhara of the main temple. So below will be Garbhagriha, then there will be Shikhara. On that Shikhara, there will be mounting of the Amalakha. Amalakha will have notches and it will look like a lotus if you see from the top. According to one inscription, the Amalakha represent a lotus and thus the symbolic seat for the deity below. Amalakha or Kalash, which is installed on the Shikhara, is another characteristic of the Nagara style. Now, features of this form the temple style. All these features, they form the style of this temple. Then Antarala seen in the Dravidian style. Amalakha seen in Nagara. Antarala seen in Dravidian style. Now, what is this Antarala? Antarala is a short antechamber of the foyer between the Garbhagriha and a Mandapam. Usually in Dravidian style of temple, there will be projection arising from the Vimana there, that is Shukanasi, which is more common. Now, what is more common? Antarala is more common in North Indian temples, but also adapted in almost all the temples all over. Now, the first temple of Antarala in Dravidian style are in near Aihoi. The Antarala are frequently observed in Dravidian side temples and they are also called Vimanas. Mandapa are linked by Antarala. Adaptation of Dravidian for Antarala are seen in Mahakuta. Where is Mahakuta? It is near Aihoi or Pattadakal. But there it was seen for the first time, and then onward in most of the temple, even Chalukyas had this. Now here we are seeing two things. One thing is Shikhara and one is Vimana. How Shikhara looks like, see, and how Vimana looks like. Very easy to remember if you see the diagram. Now it is also called Shikhara in Nagara style and Vimana in Dravidian style. This is a local language difference. Nagara style Shikhar is curved, Dravid style is pyramidal. Then disc shaped structure on the Shikhara is called as Amalakha, which we have seen just now. Now here typical Nagara temples I am showing you. They will give you elaborative idea about what we have talked just now. What is Urushinga? Urushinga means multiple Shikharas. Urushinga, or they are called subsidiary Shikharas. Here you will see it. It is from Rajasthan, Udaipur. Now Vimana. Vimana refers to the dome-like structure above the Garbhagriha. It is one of the important characteristics of the temple. Vimana of the famous temple have a name like Punyakoti Vimana. So you can call them as a type of Vimana also, or names of Vimana also at different places. One thing is Punyakoti, then another is Ananda Nilaya. So Punyakoti, Ananda Nilaya, then Sara Vimana are the different type of names given to the Vimanas in different part of India. Now let us come to the Rekha Prasada Lantina. These temples are characterized by a single Shikhara with a square base and inward curving of the wall that has a pointed tip or pointed top. Early medieval temples such as the Sun Temple of Markhera in Madhya Pradesh, then Jagannath Temple of Odisha has been constructed in Rekha Prasada Shikhara style. So these are the typical you will see here. Now these are the thing what we are discussing, we have shown you in elaboration. Again, just to recollect it, we are showing you again same because certain portion is covered later on. This slide is from Pattadakal. Now it is a UNESCO site. Why it is glorious? The reason is very simple. It has got a development of temple. Now Pattadakal and Aihoi. Aihoi was called laboratory and Pattadakal is outcome of research. So here you will find temples in all stages. You will find Dravidian, you will find Vesara, that is the combination developed by Chalukyas. You will find here Nagaras, and this is a point in Pattadakal from where you can see all the three type of temples. You can see a Dravidian one, you can see Visera also, and you can see Nagara also. A wonderful place to visit, wonderful place. It is UNESCO site and really beautiful. Now we are seeing some examples. Here it is combination. Some of them are Dravidian style and some of them are Nagara style. Here again we are seeing a Visera style. The reason is it is combination of Nagara and Dravidian type. Sukhanasi there was a prominent feature. Shuka means parrot, Nasi means a nose. Then let's come to a slightly different, that is the Bhumija. Bhumija is some variant of it. Another type of Nagara temple that evolved from the Latina style was the Bhumija architecture developed in Malwa under the Parmara dynasty. These temples have a flat upward tapering projection comprising of a central Latina sphere and a miniature spheres on the quadrant formed by the tapering towers. These mini shikharas curved out into a horizontal as well as they are vertical also. On both direction they can extend, horizontal as well as vertical direction. Now these are the examples. Now look at the shikharas. In whichever way we have seen the description, you will find the temples in the same way. Now if you draw a line right from the top, it will come in a straight line. It is true that this is in two stages. Certain part is added later on. However, in spite of that, you will see that they have fairly retained the original concept of the temple. This is Kopeshwar temple, Khidrapur, which is near Kolhapur, Maharashtra. There is some reconstruction work that has taken place. Different angle, we are showing you a same temple so that you can have a good idea about this type of architecture. Now we come to a similar. It's from the Hassan. This is Ishwara temple, Hassan. You will find similar. It's a smaller temple, but the architecture is fairly similar. This is Ishwara temple, constructed by Western Chalukyas. Now we are coming here to a place called Dambal. Dambal is near Gadag district, and this was built by Western Chalukyas. Now see, it is here. It is entrance of the Dambal, a beautiful temple. Again, you will find lot of similarities between the three temples I have shown you. Now with that we are coming to conclusion of this small lecture. We have seen that majority of the art and architectural reliefs from the ancient, medieval and modern India are religious in nature. Both the Nagara and Dravidian style of the architecture arose from a earlier Panchayatan type of architecture. Their development can be broken down into the 3 stages. Now these 3 stages we are seeing when we are seeing the temples of the different architecture, but most of the temple which we are seeing here are from the final stage. So to appreciate this stage, we'll have to go to our other lecture. We have got multiple lecture. Out of that, temple architecture development, there is one more lecture, temple architecture development, that will give you a good idea how the temple developed from a cave cut to the standalone and then to the marvels with excellent sculptures. All that things are given in that lecture. So do refer to it. Links are given below. With that, we are coming to the end of lecture. I thank you for giving me your valuable time. If you know more, please do inform us. Please let us know. And if I added into your knowledge, then give us a like, subscribe to us. Keep on watching our videos. Goodbye, good luck, and see you again in next video very shortly. This is Dr. Joshi logging off.